So let me give you some advice for investing in cryptocurrency. I'm not a professional. I'm not the best investor out there, neither am I the best person who have all the knowledge. But I want to talk about some advice or some experiences I have learned in the space for quite some time now. Now, one of them has to do with the issue of liquidity. Now, forget about investing in crypto if you don't have the liquidity of time. If you don't have the liquidity, you may have a lot of money. If you don't have the liquidity of time, forget about investing in crypto. You saw what has happened with platforms like Bitcoin and all those platforms. Not only Bitcoin, there are scams that looks like good. If you don't have the time to, if you don't have the liquidity of time, forget about investing in crypto. I'm telling you this. And also the liquidity of money. You must have some cash around to invest in crypto. The number 2 is run with the hype. Yeah, run with the hype. I'm talking about ICO investing now. Run with the hype. So I've discovered something with crypto that when you invest in ICOs, there is this stuff that looks like 2 weeks. If you watch within 2 weeks of when the coin was launched, you will discover that there is, it's as if it's just running, as if there's a bull run. You get, it's like as if there's a bull run. So you want to run with the hype, cash out immediately, and then if the project you invested is a very good project, you can at least buy back. So those are some of my experiences I've learned with investing. So run with the hype, because as hype is building, more people are, because there's more demand around that period. There are people, even though you don't sell, if you don't run with the hype, that people will run with the hype. So you don't want to be left back. You want to take such little benefits. Number 13 is understand the difference between securities and utility token. Now, there are times where when this comes to either the legal side of it and also long-term investment. So if what you're investing is not a utility token, in the long run, it may not really be profitable. That is one of the stuff. And then if it's not a utility token and it's a security token, there is too much legal encumbrance or too much legal impediment on the way of such tokens. So you want to understand if what you're investing in is a utility token or a security token. Another thing again is you want to read a book like 0 to 1. So 0 to 1, you want to understand the issues like distinctiveness. How do you distinguish between what is good and then what is not good? So you want to understand all these stuffs. And then the fifth thing I want to add here is that you want to understand the issues of debt. So there are times where we've heard of people who are taking loans and putting in Bitcoin or investing in something, or you heard of people who sold their houses or their life savings and put in that. It's not something I would really advise, because I think I read an article in the news that there was a guy in one of these Asian countries, is it Japan or Korea? He was making some gains, and when the Bitcoin price was going down and all that, he committed suicide. So, which is something you don't really want to be involved in. You get? So, please do not come into crypto with debt. Try as much as possible to repay your debts little by little. What I believe, a person that understand, that's why I teach psychology, I teach business, and I teach the technical side of it. A person might tell you they made $50 million, $5 million in ICO investing last year. I know that. What you want to ask yourself is, how did they make $5 million investing? How did they make $5 million investing? What was your initial capital you invested in? Because if two persons made an investment in a particular platform, and the platform gave 100 times. If one invested $200, that person is getting $200 times 100. That is $20,000. If another person invested $10,000 in that same platform 100 times, that is $1 million. So you cannot compare two different people. So just little by little you have, that you know is your own capital, by the time the investment of time, wise investment, you'll be able to grow it a little. So don't compare yourself with someone who is making $5 million and all that. So you want to understand the issue of debt. The another thing again is, should you pursue a career in blockchain? So maybe you're in the tech gig and all that. Maybe you might want to really sit down and think of it if you want to pursue a career with blockchain, enterprise, or all that. So the next thing I want to talk about is the issue of Facebook and Cambridge Analytica. So with Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, one thing stands out, and that thing is, it's the issue of free. The issue of free. If Facebook and all these platforms want, if they would not be using your data for, if they would not be using your data for marketing and all that, then we have to pay. So we have to choose between getting this stuff for free, because if they get this stuff for free, how would they be paying engineers and keeping the systems up and running? So we have to sacrifice between paying for this stuff or let them be using our data. So we have to choose between any of this. So with the issue of Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, Cambridge Analytica is just one of few scenarios. There are issues that go under the rug that nobody reports anything about. Nobody reports anything about them. And then you talk about Facebook crypto ads. This is something that a lot of people in the blockchain space have not really understood. There are many blockchain alternatives to Facebook and Twitter and all that. Even though they are not up to the scale of Facebook, Facebook did not become the Facebook. Facebook 2018 is not the same thing as Facebook 2004. There is an evolution, and the evolution will keep. There will be continuous evolution, because Facebook cannot remain steady. It cannot be like there's a saying that when a river is no more flowing, it starts to stink. So Facebook cannot be still. So it's time for people to start using this blockchain platform. There are many blockchain platforms that wants to change the way they do advertising. There are many blockchain platforms that want to change the way we do that want to change the way we do either messaging, banking, or whatsoever. It is time to start using these platforms. So Facebook banning cryptocurrency ads. These are signals. Facebook banning cryptocurrency ads, banning stuffs like Google coming in to ban cryptocurrency ads also, and then Twitter saying they want to join suit and all that. It's only a time for you to know that there is too much concentration of power in one source. There's also power over concentration, and that leads to power abuse. That is why there have to be decentralization. This decentralization does not necessarily mean that there is no individual or individuals that are at the realm of governance, because a decentralization cannot exist without governance. It's not possible. So, but what we are saying is that the governance, because the governance does not have to be in the hands of few. What is blockchain? Blockchain is a system that is so decentralized where every participant that has anything to do with it has one form of power or the other. That is what blockchain is. That is why many people are even debating stuff like proof of stake. If proof of stake is really a very good model, because though using stuff like proof of work, they have their own drawbacks, like it's not energy efficient, the cost wise and all that. But if you want to talk about proof of stake, proof of stake is a plutocratic system of governance. Yeah, it's only for the rich and the wealthy. So everything has its own pros and cons. There cannot be decentralization without governance. So with platforms like Google banning cryptocurrency, it's only an agenda for people not to be aware. And that is one of the things that they will now start going after YouTubers. Yeah, so they will now start going after YouTubers who are talking about cryptocurrency platforms by demonetizing their stuff and all that. So you want to understand the times we are living in. You want to understand the times we are living in. We are living in critical times. So guys, please take this advice I've given you so far and then put this under your mind that you are being monitored. Everything you do on the internet. Offline is the new luxury. So if you like this video, share this video with your friends. Bye.